Welcome to the Pharmacy Scholars Program webinar. We are so excited to be here today. I am the Assistant DEI Program Manager, Megan O'Neill.
Hi, I'm Regina McClinton, Assistant Dean for Diversity, Equity, Inclusion here in the College of Pharmacy, and we are so thrilled to have you here to learn more about our Pharmacy Scholars Program.
So to start off, we will discuss what is the Pharmacy Scholars Program. So PSP is a 4-week residential program on the University of Michigan campus. It prepares students to apply to pharmacy school and to be successful in those first year pharmacy courses. Students will have the opportunity to meet with faculty and administrators, and we will provide shadowing opportunities and information on the different areas of pharmacy practice and pharmacy careers. And I'll let Dean McClinton talk a little bit more about the history of PSP and why it exists.
Great, thank you, Megan. So, when I started here in the College of Pharmacy 7 years ago now, I was asked to create a program that would attract students from across the country and the U.S. territories to consider Michigan as their home for doing their PharmD degree. And it's a sister program to one that is in dentistry, the School of Dentistry here at Michigan. And so we began, as some of you might think about, as a preparation for the Pharmacy College Admissions Test, or PCAT exam. So we brought students to campus. It was 6 weeks then because of the Kaplan schedule for preparing for the PCAT. And as you all likely know, the PCAT has gone away. And so we still wanted to engage with students and have them come to campus, but obviously preparing for the PCAT was not that useful. So we converted it to a boot camp. And so we have programming that we do that we'll be touching on just next, and allows you to learn more about us, to learn more about the University of Michigan, to learn about the city of Ann Arbor, to meet people in other summer programs, and some of our current PharmD students, faculty, staff, and administrators. So we are so excited to have you. And Megan, if you want to take it from there.
Yeah. All right. So pharmacy scholars, while they are in the program, will receive a one-on-one opportunity to do academic advising with some of our academic advisors here on campus, a really unique and special opportunity to help kick off your pharmacy school experience potentially. We will learn from faculty and student speakers. So we'll have some current students come talk to you all and our current faculty about the different courses that they teach or the different research that they do. Students will have the opportunity to be mentored, review coursework and topics that are relevant to pharmacy school, receive advice on writing a CV and a personal statement, receive advice about how to do a proper interview, attend admission and financial aid information sessions, which is, of course, very important anytime someone is thinking about applying to school. And pharmacy scholars will also receive a stipend. Some of the courses we will be reviewing during this time include general chemistry, organic chemistry, biochem, calculations, general biology, genetics, and pharmacokinetics, which is the study of how the body interacts with different medications. We will have some exciting guest speakers and shadowing opportunities. These are just some examples of some things we have done in the past. We have had speakers talk about clinical skills, introduction to health, pharmacy careers, health disparities, and lab research. We've done community pharmacy tours, hospital tours, naloxone training, and a tour of the Big House, which is, of course, Michigan's football stadium, which happens to be the biggest stadium in the country. Which, if you're a sports fan, that's really exciting. I'm not a sports fan necessarily, and it's still pretty exciting. So I will be looking forward to that one myself because I have not gotten to do that before. Dean McClinton, anything you'd like to add?
You know, the Big House is just a marvel, right? And just a landmark to be able to see. Not everyone gets to go. And so we are so glad to provide that opportunity. And it's just us. It's just our group. We take a couple other summer program students. And we just have the stadium to ourselves. And seeing so much history that has shaped this university and this community is pretty awesome. And it's not all often that you're standing in the middle of a full-on football field.
Yes. And of course we just won the championship. So what a time to be at Michigan for sure. All right, I'm going to let Damon Clinton also talk a little bit about the College of Pharmacy.
Great, sure. The other thing I forgot to mention earlier, when COVID hit, we had to go virtual. This will be our first year to be in person again. So we are very excited to have students here on campus and in the building and to be able to work with you face to face. The College of Pharmacy here at the University of Michigan is really a leader in a lot of different ways. We were the first pharmacy school in the United States, and we were established in 1868. Now, what does that mean? People were teaching pharmacy in other places, but in actual formal, approved by university system school, we were the first to do that. And in addition, when you come, and you look at our class photos of people who've graduated over the years from Michigan, you'll see that we were actually educating women and people of color before each of those groups had the right to vote in the United States. So we've had this long-standing commitment of educating people, all people, and supporting them in their careers in pharmacy. And so to ensure that we are continuing assertively to make that happen is why we created the Pharmacy Scholars Program. Now, we're one of the smaller class size cohorts in the country as well. So we have a 4 student to 1 faculty ratio here. We bring in 84 to 86 students each year. And that allows us to really get to know our students and work one-on-one with them. And it has really supported us in being able to so directly support our students. That has been a really big key. It's a thing that's very important to us. We have a relatively new dean, Dean Vicki Ellingrod. She's our first woman dean. So think the math. We were established in 1868. We just got ourselves a woman dean. But in looking for a dean, that was something that was key, that we wanted to be sure whoever got the position would continue, that we would be a place where we build our relationships with our students and get to know them and support them throughout all 4 of their years. We are also very excited that we have a new building under construction. So if you decide to come to Michigan for pharmacy school, you would be starting fall of 2025. And that is our target date to start in our new building. We actually on the website have a live cam, so you can check it out and watch as that goes along. We do, because we're just so anxious to have that happen. And so we'll be able to show you some of the building site and the designs for the building as well. And so this college is truly living out its commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. As you may know, the University of Michigan has been a leader in diversity, equity, and inclusion for decades. And when the state abolished affirmative action, we actively worked to ensure that our DEI work continued in a lawful manner. So now that the Supreme Court has abolished affirmative action at the national level, we were ready. We knew what to do. And so this program allows us to continue to bring people and increase diversity in all of its forms, right? And so it's too easy to think about diversity as race or gender or even ability, because there's diversity of thought and experience. And so one thing I want you to remember is this. When we look for students as our new PharmD students, we're looking for students who will be leaders. And so that might mean you don't have the highest GPA, but you've established yourself as someone who makes a difference, or you've been volunteering to support others, right? The many ways in which leadership is expressed. That is a big part for us around diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we are happy to have all of you applying and look forward to reading your applications. Megan?
Okay, now that we have talked a little bit about the College of Pharmacy, let's talk a little bit about the University of Michigan as a whole. So, as Dean McClinton was saying, the University of Michigan has been doing DEI for a long time, which is amazing. And here are some other just quick facts about the University of Michigan. We have the number 3 pharmacy school in the country, according to the US News and World Report, something that we're very proud of. We are number 1 in the best college towns in the US, which I am fairly new to Ann Arbor, but so far I can attest to that. I have really enjoyed my time here. It is a great town, not too big, not too small. Number 1 US public university, according to the World University Rankings, which is very exciting. And we are the number 15 world reputation, or we have the number 15 world reputation as far as the rankings go for the Times higher education. So the University of Michigan is well known. And so we would like to think that if you come here, that you would know that you are in good hands and that we have a wide alumni network that spans across the globe. And so there's so much potential to meet people and make those connections while you're at Michigan and beyond.
Absolutely. So we've talked to you a little bit about Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor is a beautiful place. Arbor trees, there's a ton of trees here. I'm originally from the West Coast, so trees stay green all year round. And so it has been wonderful to be here to see all the colors that trees will do through the fall. It is a walkable town, and we have a very good public transportation system. So technically, you wouldn't have to have a car if you came here for pharmacy school. But if you do have a car, parking is available. There is a lot of housing that is affordable near campus, apartments, houses. Some people do, a group of folks and rent a house together. And then some of the more outlying areas. So you have the ability for variety. One of the things I personally enjoy and appreciate is the variety of different ethnic cuisines that are here. So in walking distance, there's several versions of Latin food. There are several versions of Asian food. There's Italian, there's Ethiopian near campus. And then we have African food. We have a very well-known food truck, Fork in Nigeria, that has found sort of permanent spot in the Ann Arbor area, and sometimes is even closer to campus. And others as well. There are several soul food restaurants. I just would happen to know that. So I hope that you will get to see Ann Arbor as a wonderful place. It's also pretty safe here. We have a low crime rate. And so if you're out in the evenings, you won't be alone. There's a bunch of other people walking around out in the evenings, just enjoying the atmosphere and the area and what the offerings are here in the Ann Arbor area. You're about an hour away from Detroit. So if one were to want to go to the Lions game this weekend, that is a doable thing.
Mhm.
And about 2 hours from Grand Rapids, which is on the other side of the state, we also have Amtrak. And
Mhm.
so you can take the train to Chicago, which is a beautiful ride, a lovely, lovely ride. And so you really do have access to a lot,
Mhm.
even though you're anchored here in Ann Arbor. Megan?
We are also close to a major airport, which is nice and makes things a little bit easier. And I will say it is kind of a fun community that does quite a few community events. So coming up, Dean McClinton recently told me about Restaurant Week, which is something that all of the local restaurants kind of get on board with. And over our winter break, there was also an event where the stores stayed open late, all the stores on Main Street, and there was a bunch of people out shopping and enjoying the lights that get strung up downtown. So lots of opportunities, I think, to meet people and get out in the community and see what Ann Arbor is all about.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about the application requirements to join Pharmacy Scholars Program. So, we ask for students GPA, a little bit of an education history. We look at the coursework that has been taken up until this point. There are some coursework requirements, and all of this information is also listed on our website if you need to go back and check. It's, of course, also listed within the application itself. So we also look at your extracurricular activities, a resume or CV. We will ask for unofficial copies of your transcript and then some letters of recommendation. So we do have spots on the resume or spots on the application for 2 letters of recommendation, and then the third one is optional. And so those letters of recommendation are due by February 26th. So the rest of your application materials will be due on February 12th, and those letters of recommendation will be due on the 26th. If you run into any issues, please feel free to contact us and we can help you navigate the application if needed or if any problems with deadlines arise. There are also everyone's favorite thing, essays as a part of our application requirements. So there is a personal essay where you will write an introduction of yourself to the PSP admissions committee. There is a qualifications essay where you can explain, how you qualify for this program, and then a demonstrated commitment essay about relating your commitment to improving the health of underserved and disadvantaged communities. So again, if there are ever any questions about those essays, please feel free to reach out. We would be happy to talk to you about those. Are there any questions at this time about the application? I will say, if you begin an application, you do not have to finish it all at once. You can go back and work on it in phases. I think that's something really important to know. So if you're thinking about applying to the program, I would recommend going ahead and looking at the application, getting it started. There's still plenty of time to work on it. So far, there is nothing in the chat.
There is one in the Q&A. Thank you so much for submitting that. And so we have, our international students studying in the United States eligible to apply? The answer is yes. So you do have to be in the United States, but you can be an international student. And so we would encourage you to go ahead and apply. And we would very much be looking forward to reading your application.
Yeah. There's
You
one more.
That's why I hired Megan, because we're just so wonderfully copacetic. It's quite lovely, quite lovely.
Dean McClinton, do you have any other recommendations just from working on this program in the past about the application process?
Yes. So start early in asking faculty to write a letter of recommendation for you. Too often it comes, kind of late in asking, and then the faculty member is rushed. So if you go to your faculty member now and say, hey, I'm going to be applying for this program, give them the link so they can see at least the web pages and get an idea of the information that we might be looking for, and have that agreement, if you will, that they will agree to do a letter of recommendation for you. That asking them early is a big thing that I would recommend. And let me just tell you a little bit about how the application works. You'll fill out your information, you will fill out the contact information for the recommender, and then we reach out to the recommender, and then they log into the system and submit the letter of recommendation. So, and we also send reminders. And if we're really having a hard time, we might reach back out to you and let you know that we've not heard from the recommender, and ask if you would follow up with them. So that is definitely a key thing. We did previously require a formal version of your transcript, and we just recognized that that was a barrier for students, right? Getting the transcript, the cost of that. And so if you're taking screenshots off of your computer screen, put that in a PDF document if you can, and send that to us. If you have an unofficial copy that you can send, either of those is fine. We're really good with that. I think those are the biggest things that I would say are items to consider. And we have a question from Maya.
We
Megan, you
do.
have it?
Yes. So Maya asked, what year do you have to be to fill out the application? Is there a time that we recommend applying? Yes, that is a great question. And there is a time. So we are really looking for students who are maybe juniors or seniors going into their junior or senior year, or maybe who have just graduated and who are really thinking about pursuing pharmacy school. And we have it set up this way because of those class requirements, right? There are certain classes that students have to take in order to do the program. And so we want to make sure that students have enough time to take those classes. And so when they get to us, it is a review and not that they're learning those subjects for the first time. And so if you, we have had some questions about, well, maybe I've taken those classes, but my clarification isn't a junior or a senior and such, feel free to get in contact with us directly and we can talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see, we have one more slide here. And so that is how to stay in touch with us. Should you need to ask us any of those follow-up questions or we need to get into more detail. So we have our website, we have our email, pharmacy.psp@umich.edu. And I can also give my email, which is Meg, MEGONEA @umich.edu. So please feel free to contact me directly as well. We are on Instagram and we will be posting reminders about the program. And then I have the QR code so you can scan directly to start your application if you have not done so already, because like Dean Clinton said, it's always good to get started early. All right. So if there are no more questions, Dean Clinton, any last words of advice?
We are so glad that you are interested in pharmacy as a profession and that you are interested in the Pharmacy Scholars Program. I think one thing that happens for a lot of people is they have this sort of misnomer that Michigan is not attainable, but really we are. And we aren't looking for a particular class of students. We're looking for qualified individuals, right? If you're progressing positively in your academic career, that qualifies you, who are looking to be pharmacists, that will give us a chance to become their home for their PharmD degree. So, and let me say this, our tuition is not as expensive as you may think. We are less expensive than a lot of schools. Last I checked, we were cheaper actually than Howard University or Xavier University pharmacy schools. So do pursue us. We do award scholarships to students, and you'll hear all about that during the Pharmacy Scholars Program. And as we say, once you go blue, you're always blue. You always belong to us and you always have access to us. So please do apply. Please do feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And thank you so much for watching this webinar.